Thank you for the invitation to be here. I appreciate that, and thank you for the time with the other speakers. I think it's very important to note that on October 7th, what happened was not the beginning of something, but a reaction to something. The occupation has been oppressing the Palestinians in the West Bank for over 56 years, and the blockade in Gaza for 16. Basically, what happened was a jailbreak. And Hamas was clear in the beginning, even though it was not something that we heard a lot in Western media. But they were very clear that their actions, not to justify that, what they had done that day, but they said it was in reaction to the ongoing occupation, the way that the Palestinian prisoners are being treated in the military courts in the occupied West Bank, and also the recent attacks in the Al-Aqsa Mosque, where this is supposed to be a place of sanctuary and a safe place, but there's been a number of raids in the area in the past couple of months. So they weren't sitting around looking for something to do that afternoon. Like I said, this was a reaction to decades of oppression and not being able to live freely and with dignity in their homelands. The constant rhetoric of Israel has the right to defend itself. There's no place in international law that says that that an occupying power has the right to defend itself. In fact, it's the responsibility of that occupying power to take care of and maintain the well-being of the community that they're occupying. So technically, it's the Palestinians that have the right to defend themselves against their occupier. And with $3.8 billion of U.S. aid going into Israel on a yearly basis, with that much money, and they still, we're sending them that much aid, and they still can't get their house in order, so to speak. The U.S. government, their solution to that is to send more money and to send more military aid. And this is clearly not going to solve the issue. The issue is that the Palestinian people want to live free and with dignity, just like anybody else, not just in their region, but as we live here in the United States. But instead, what we're watching is the U.S. government basically fueling a genocide. And as Adam had said before with Rwanda, as we're all sitting around debating what to call it, or if we can call it a genocide, in the meantime, people are dying. And it's not soldiers on the battlefield, it's civilians. What are we at? Over 4,000 children have died in over a month. That's despicable that we are continuing to fuel that as the United States. We have the ability to move the needle on this conflict, and instead of putting the money that we have, or the aid that we have available, to things like food and water and medical supplies, we're just fueling the ongoing genocide. And it's heartbreaking to watch that, because like I said, in Rwanda, they killed, it was estimates as high as 800,000 people in 3 months. That's at a faster rate than the Nazis were exterminating people in Europe during World War II. And that was in a 3-month period. So how many Palestinians are we going to allow to be victims of this atrocity, as people are sitting by, like I said, and just trying to debate what to call it? And now our own elected officials, they're not allowed to speak out in defense of the Palestinians, which I don't think a lot of Americans know. But when we talk about the Palestinian communities, that's Muslim communities and Christian communities. A church was bombed, a church that's over 1,000 years old. That was a target. The Israeli government has the most sophisticated weapon systems in the world, backed by the largest military force in the world, and they can't tell the difference between a military target and a civilian location. So it's shameful to watch our elected officials, and as they continue to support this. So I would encourage for any folks that are watching in the United States, and have an opportunity, we need to start reaching out to our elected officials and let them know that this is not how we want to be featured in the world stage, and this is not how we want our tax dollars spent. And if they don't make a difference and stand up on the right side of history, then we will vote them out and find somebody else who will.